I like what you're doing with the lawsuit and how everything going. In a sense, I see it as somewhat David and Goliath in a sense. Obviously, NFL Shield is extremely powerful.
I got my slingshot right here.
Yeah. I like it, extremely powerful.
How many years did you have left on your contract?
I had 2 years left.
Did you sign it?
Did you? Yeah, that was what it.
I did not sign my separation.
You did not sign your separation.
So you're not getting paid?
Nah, we finna get paid. Leave that. Remember that quote with Denzel and Jamie? I'm leaving with something.
We had to fight to get a meal. Yeah, wrongfully accused. We had to fight to get appeals. That's why we right to get a deal. He on the team, he gotta eat, you know. Despite your skills, keep it riding for the fam. You gotta light the wheels straight up. But in the past bad, work up in the trash bag. I'll pass a lot to take the test before I pass class. Yeah, and my family needed bread. I had to come correct. That's why I keep airing it out like I just passed gas.
The I Am Athlete Parlay. We've been hot. These are guaranteed wins.
I'm gonna take Arizona over San Fran.
Whoa.
It's all about matchups, understanding who's playing against who. It's a game of chess.
Football season's over. This is easy money. It's basketball season now. DraftKings Sportsbook got a new bet. New games, easy money. All right? It's really simple, okay? You bet $1 as a new customer, you get $150 in free bets if you win. All you gotta do is go to DraftKings Sportsbook, download the app, okay? Use promo code ATHLETE, get in the game. You can do same game parlays, and if you continue to stack your bets, you make your bag even bigger and you make more money. NBA season is here officially. Now that football season is over, make sure you get in the game and make it easy money like me. DraftKings.com is the sports book. I Am Athlete is the platform. Parlay, I Am Athlete all day. Promo code ATHLETE. Let's get it. Bianca, introduce Coach to Manscaping.
All right, so with I Am Athlete, we are partnered with Manscaped, and we like to give some gifts of theirs onto our show. And thankfully for you, we have a new collection that they've had. It's called the Ultra Premium Collection, and it's great because it's got some body wash. So we have body wash.
I ain't got
You got a little bit.
Got a little bit.
He can grow hair.
So the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner will be perfect for you.
Great. Everybody got jokes, huh? Oh, man.
And then we also have body spray and deodorant, as well as Brandon's favorite grooming, which is lip balm. So don't steal this from
That's right. That's right. I'm gonna give it to Coach. I'm gonna gift him. Promo code ATHLETE, Manscaped. This is the Ultra Premium Collection. Don't forget also shave your balls, man. Blitz Zero. What's this whole thing about Blitz Zero?
The thing I love about Blitz Zero is offensively, everybody's got to work. The quarterback's got to work. The offensive line's got to work. The receivers got to figure out whether they're side adjusts or hots.
Right.
You know, the back's got to block. The tight end's got to block. So everybody's got to work. The offensive coordinator, you know, there's things that he can't call because you might get Blitz Zero. You know, there's oftentimes we'll give you the Blitz Zero look and we won't blitz. We'll drop 8.
There's a lot of people that are scared to go be that aggressive though.
I mean, I've covered football for 14 years. I've never seen that and executed at that level. And props to you because it's a good defense.
Really, you guys took situational football in New England to a whole nother level.
It was different.
Right.
Just walking in the building, you just knew it. You know, they had the whole Patriot Way mystique about them. Like, nobody has to say the Patriot Way. When you walk in there and see how things are run, it's just that.
Did you feel the Patriots Way?
Yeah.
Did you? What is it? What is the difference?
I don't even know how to put it into words, honestly. But I know what it takes to win. I know why we in Cincinnati didn't win in the way they ran things at the Patriots. Very militant. Listen, I've never been to the Army. I've never been to the Navy.
Right.
But if I had to take a guess on what it was like being there, discipline, on time, getting it done and doing it over and over until you do it the right way, and everybody being held accountable, including 12, Now I understand, oh, this is why these motherfuckers win year in and year out, no matter what.
Bro, over the last 20 years, or 15 years, I would say, everybody keep trying to define what the Patriot Way is. Talking to Coach offline, and he clearly defined it for me. He was the first one to clearly define the Patriot Way. So, where's my camera? I'm gonna use Ocho's little thing. America, everybody wants to know the Patriot Way. Coach, what's the Patriot Way?
I mean, I was telling, when you walk in, there's a sign.
There it is.
This is it.
Here's the Patriot Way.
Work hard, be attentive, do your job, and put the team first. And then when you see it every day,
That don't seem very complicated.
Right.
it's
it,
not,
don't,
but-
it don't seem complicated. That's why there's a much bigger and in-depth meaning to what he's saying, because any team, in order to make it and be the 1%er that we all are on those 32 teams, you got to work hard. You got to be intended to get the job done on Sunday. Think about it.
What's the other
But
two?
it's something about
What's the other
that
two?
atmosphere. I can't remember. Stay with me though. Stay with me. Well, obviously there is one piece that never changes, and that was 12. So no matter what you put around him, and
Or
you
Bill.
understand,
Or Bill.
in the NFL and Bill, in the NFL, you need one piece to have a f***ing chance at winning, and that's a good goddamn quarterback.
I agree with you, and that's why I always say the Patriots Way was Brady. But I don't think you could replicate it in New England without 12.
But this is what you can do though, which is what Coach was able to do with the Dolphins. You can't replicate it, but you got the formula on what it takes to get there. He's coming from that tree, that coaching tree. It hasn't worked for many, but it was working there. So I'm having a hard time understanding why I'm glad we got him here today. How are you going when you improve my fins? And I can say that because I'm from here. This home.
you know, for me, my goal coming into Miami was to be me. You know, I'm so different than Bill, just for a lot of reasons. You know, based on coming from where I come from, where he came from. You know, the way we grew up, the way we came up. There's no way you can try to be somebody else. So, and I don't think that's just not the right approach to take. You got to be you in any field, in anything you're doing, any industry. And if you're not, then you fake it. It just eventually it's not going to work.
Brian, your firing came as a surprise to a lot of us. I covered the team and completely in shock because I didn't expect that. The language that was used the day you were fired when Steve Ross was making the announcement was that he struggled to work collaboratively with all of us. And it was portrayed as if you were difficult to work with. One, how did you receive that? And two, do you feel like it was accurate?
Look, I think race played a role in my firing. And what I mean by that is there were things that I was asked to do. There were conversations that were had. I was made out to be a difficult person to work with. And I think, my white counterparts wouldn't have been asked to do the things I was asked to do. And look, I'm a strong personality. I know that played a role in.
But they had to know this.
You need to be that as a coach in the National Football League.
They had to know this when they hired you, though.
Yeah, I mean, you would think.
When you say they had to know this when they hired him, it's interesting because I feel like that's what you want all your head coaches to be, because you have in the offseason you have 90-something guys in the locker room, and when you stand in front of, from a player's perspective, when you stand in front of that meeting room, or if you come into that locker room, how you get all 90 guys to do this and you galvanize that locker room and follow, you got to be strong. And there's some guys like Bill Belichick or even Sean Payton that they lead with a little fear, but they also have some love. They have love to them as well. And there's some guys like the Pete Carrolls of the world that is like rah rah, we're all in this together, cool. And that's at the other end of the spectrum, but he has a strong personality. So I feel like you have to have that, but what does that mean to you, like strong personality? When you say that, what?
To me, it means, from a coaching standpoint, yeah, I have a strong personality. I have presence. When I walk into a room, and you said 90, but it's 90, but it's coaches, so that's another 20, and it's equipment, and it's IT, and it's nutrition, and it's medical, and so there's more than 90. It's 200. It's you're leading the entire group. So you got to have presence. You got to be able to stand up in front of that room and command the room. And when you speak, they listen. Not in a dictatorship, but in a galvanizing way, as you mentioned, because that's the game of football. You got to get 11 guys to trust each other. I remember telling this. I say this every year, probably 10 times a year. It's hard to get 2 people to trust each other. Like, I think we all know that within our relationships. What you're trying to do is get 11 guys on the same page for 70 plays a game on offense, defense, and 30 plays in the kicking game. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. So whoever's in front of that room better be able to have some presence, have some command, and have a strong personality. And if that person thinks something is wrong, or if things aren't going correctly, those things need to be addressed.
I talked to someone in the organization, actually came in my office. I was like, yo, I may have coach on. This particular person had tears in their eyes. They were so pissed off. It was like, this is my guy. And he sat there for probably like 90 seconds. And he said, bro, let me tell you the last thing he did. I guess which I would do Victory Monday or something, you would go and you would pass out $100 bills or something to all the staff or something. I don't know when y'all did it, but he said, Coach got fired. I'm sitting in his office, and the first thing he said was, "Hey, there's a stack of money or hundreds in my drawer. Make sure y'all go down
to the kitchen
staff and pass out money."
Yeah. I mean, look, that's not something I really try to talk about too often. I would say, to your question about relationships, just ask the people in that building. That's important to me. I appreciate, I try to appreciate the people that are. There's a lot that goes into, building a team and, creating a winning environment. I always try to show them love.
You shocked the NFL and damn near the world, with starting out what I like to call this battle, this fight against the NFL, okay? These 32 owners. But before we dive deeper in that, I want to talk a little ball. And the reason, and let me be transparent here. My agenda was starting here first is like the last 2 years you were given a team that wasn't supposed to win and you won. And on Inside the NFL, I'm on Inside the NFL. I've been on Inside the NFL for 8 years. And we talk about all the teams. And then when you talk about the Dolphins, one of the things that I've said, Ray Lewis says, like, yo, this coach is next level. This coach is different. You think about Mike Vrabel. You think about Coach Tomlin. You think about Bill Belichick. You think about Sean Payton. You're up there from an X's and O's, a scheme standpoint, and also a management standpoint with some of the greatest names. And it's only this was year 2 for you?
Year 3.
Year 3 for you, excuse me. I want to talk about that. Like, talk to me about, who was that one person for you that you took a lot of your knowledge from and you learned a lot from? Like, who was that one guy? It could be anybody.
The one person that definitely helped me, that people probably wouldn't think of is Mel Tucker. The year before I was going to be the coordinator in New England, I spent a few days at Georgia, University of Georgia, where Mel was a DC. And I remember sitting in his meeting and saying to myself, damn, that guy's impressive. Right. I kind of saw myself, but an older, wiser, more seasoned version. And I was like, I got to learn from this guy. Right. He's somebody who he probably doesn't even know how much of an impact he had on me. Right. And I took a lot from that.
Let's bring the food out. You can bring the food out. Coach, we like to break bread on this show. Right. Okay. I got the shrimping grits here at Red Rooster.
I got the Yardbird.
Ocho said he only want plantains because he don't eat nothing on this menu. But the menu's fire. This dude said, just give me plantains. So, out of all the people in the business, why'd you reach out to him?
It happened by chance. Yeah. I just happened to be at Georgia. I was going to visit a few different places that year. Just wanted to get some knowledge from different coaches. So I'd been to Ohio State. I went to Georgia. I went to one other spot, and it just happened by chance. Look, Bill's the obvious. Bill Belichick's the obvious. Obviously I learned a great deal of football from him.
Speaking on Bill Belichick,
obviously he's regarded as the GOAT, right?
Yeah. And he's certainly that.
He is that?
Yeah, he's certainly that.
What makes him the GOAT?
Uh,
You said that easy.
I mean, I think the one thing people don't know about Bill is he listens. You know, he listens. So if you have, and again, you gotta earn the right for him to listen. But if you have an idea, if you have a thought, if you have a person, you know, there's a matchup that you think that we can win, a part in the game, that, like, he'll listen. He may add something to it, he may throw it out, but he listens. I think that's one of his greatest strengths, and something I try to take from him, you know, and when I was in Miami.
You included his text messages, which I thought was a good bit of evidence, but it's included in the lawsuit. Do you feel like you damaged the relationship with Bill? I'm
not mad. I mean, Bill did what a lot of us, you know, he sent the text message to the wrong person. I mean, I'm certainly guilty of that before. You know, to me, you know, I thought it was specific to the lawsuit in that it confirmed a lot of things that, you know, I thought were going on. That I think a lot of you know, black and minority coaches, you know, think are going on. It kind of confirmed it for me, you know, as far as having a fair and equal opportunity to go and interview and, you know, show your acumen, show your intelligence, show your ability to lead, show your you know, your willingness and your leadership, you know, and oftentimes that, you know, it's not a fair and equal playing field.
I got a question. While we're on the topic of coaches, minority coaches, black coaches, I have a question. Probably got somewhat of an answer, but I wouldn't know until I'm able to ask, you know, someone who's been in that position. Why is it that we, at times, wanting to be in positions of power, knowing that NFL owners don't see us as men that can lead a team at times? They don't see us as people that are like-minded like them. I'm just being honest. They're not comfortable with us leading or being able to win. They see us all the time as coordinators, offensively, defensively at times. We're just getting around.
I would say
defensively.
I would say
defensively.
Not offensively. We're just getting around to where now that the game has changed, where the black quarterback is now okay being a part of the RPO.
I disagree with you.
I don't know if it's okay.
Let me finish. It's not okay. Still, Lamar Jackson came out. What they wanted to play?
He's still viewed as an athlete, not a quarterback.
Okay.
The reason why I said that is because I feel like as a black quarterback, you have to be exceptional.
Listen, anytime in any position, the black person has to be overly qualified to do just that.
Right.
Why is that?
To do
and
the
not
same
so
job.
long ago, I might be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. At one point, the middle linebacker in the NFL was considered the quarterback of the defense. And there were no black or minorities that played the middle linebacker position. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure how far we into that, but why is it that we want to be coaches so bad, knowing that these owners don't even feel comfortable with us in that position?
You know, qualifications versus familiarity.
Right.
I think that's what we're dealing with here. And I've talked about this. I think there's a heart change that needs to happen.
Right.
I think I think we got to open our minds up, or the ownership has to be more open-minded about black minorities, women, and their ability to lead. You know, in the National Football League. Obviously, look, the numbers speak for themselves.
Right.
There's some things that, you know, obviously have to change. You know, and I think, you know, just from a hiring standpoint, you know, is it qualifications? Is it familiarity and comfortability? I know one thing, you know, if I'm going to have somebody, if it's fourth down, and, you know, I'm telling my coaches, hey, look, we got to get the ball to our best players, you know, and that's based off of, you know, past production. You know, what have you done? And I'm not sure that's the case in the hiring circles.
It's not.
You know,
It definitely
and
not.
I think that's an easy kind of you know, comparison.
But I just feel like, you know, when we talk football, okay, winning 8 out of the last 9 with a team that was not supposed to win the year before or the first year, right? Like, we were all like, oh, wow, this dude is really good.
But his resume, it speaks for itself already. The resume and what he's done speaks for us. Where he came from and having the formula to win and turning the Dolphins organization around, it's already been done. The foundation had already been laid to continue to improve year in and year out.
Right.
So we can talk football all we want, but the football statistics are right there in your face.
Yeah.
He already did what he had to do in turning that organization around, but he was still fired.
But I would say this: the lawsuit's bigger than football.
Yeah,
You know,
and it
I
ain't
think
just
it's-
football. It ain't just the NFL. This is corporate America.
Yeah, this is
People that can watch this show that are dealing with the same stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't not football in general.
This is
And
across,
we're
across a lot of industries.
football is a microcosm of society.
It is. And
Like
we have to
College
be
society.
overqualified to do the same job.
We have a Rooney rule in place, right? We
It's
have a
not
Rooney rule
working.
in place. It's not working, but what owners are doing is, okay, we're gonna check this box. We're gonna check the box.
Now they have 2 boxes to check.
They got 2 boxes to check. Matter of fact, they hired Mr. Daniels. No disrespect to Mr. Daniels, but when he got hired as a new Dolphins head coach, they had the nerve to mention he's biracial. Basically, to me, what that's saying is, like, here, damn, y'all happy now? Excuse me. I mean, Lovie Smith gets hired with the Houston Texans. In this NFL, there are 31 other teams, right? In order to contend on any level, even have a chance at winning, you need a what?
Quarterback.
Who's a quarterback in Houston?
We don't know. We don't know.
To
Deshaun
me,
don't
that's
wanna be there.
another.
Yeah.
God damn, here y'all go. Y'all happy now?
No,
Like-
but that gets into the point of we have to take bad jobs.
And we
And
keep getting fired. Mike Tomlin, the culture in Pittsburgh.
but he
it's
took
always
a
been
good
winning.
job.
It's always been a winning culture.
Yes.
No, but
Always.
they came
But
out.
they
hold
draft
on.
well.
Hold on. But no, let's go to Mike Tomlin. Know the history of Mike Tomlin. When he went on his interview, he wasn't the front runner.
No, he was not.
wowed them in the
Yes.
interview.
And he interviewed with the Dolphins, and they came across from the interview thoroughly impressed, but said, you know what, we can't go with him because he's a little bit too hip hop. This is way before your time. A little bit too hip hop.
that was said?
And Cam Cameron got the job, and Cam Cameron was a colossal failure. And Cam Cameron had a bad first interview. They interviewed him a second time and said, okay, this is the one that we wanted to give the job. But we couldn't give the job to Mike Tomlin, who at that time hadn't landed the Pittsburgh job because he was, quote unquote, too hip hop.
What year is it?
This is
No,
2007.
what year is it right now?
It's 2022.
2022, and we still have to incentivize teams and owners to hire minorities.
Because they want to hire
Relax.
people who look like them, who make them comfortable. Who, you know why he was fired, in my opinion? He was fired because he did not make Steve Ross comfortable.
Oh, he didn't play his game.
but coach said
Oh, he
that.
didn't play his game. You got to talk their talk. If you don't talk their
You
talk
got-
or play their game,
I mean-
what do they do?
I mean, that's exactly why. You know, my opinion. Like, if I feel like something's wrong, I'm going to talk about it. You're going to hear from me. And, you know, there were some things that happened there that I simply wouldn't do.
Well, Coach,
that's
hold
the
on.
reason
You know
why.
I like to get messy on the show. That's a common theme. You got X versus Z, you got Ultra versus
problem.
Science, and then you got B Marshall like
Yeah.
to get messy. What was some of those things? That's my Barbara Walter. That's my Barbara Walter. What was some of those things, Coach?
I wouldn't lose games on purpose.
Ooh.
Play their game.
Which I thought cost you Joe Burrow.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I would never disrespect the game like that. You know, and a lot of people may feel differently. You may feel differently, Omar.
Yeah, I do.
You know, you may. But, you know, the game's done a lot
You
for
do?
me. Maybe it hasn't.
Oh,
maybe,
absolutely I do.
Maybe it hasn't done as much for you
That
as
was
it
that
has
was
for me. and
no
that's-
question. 2019 was supposed to be a tank season to get a good quarterback. That was
You
the
got a good quarterback.
no. That it was supposed to initially be for Tua,
Yeah.
but the best quarterback in hindsight was Joe Burrow, who just took a team to the Super Bowl. To get that number 1 pick, you had to lose against the Cincinnati Bengals. Y'all won in overtime. It messed
Absolutely.
up. It
You wanted to win that game, or you?
I'm always going to
He absolutely
win.
wanted to win.
Absolutely, I want.
Omar, you talk about it. I mean, you've been covering the Dolphins for
100%.
how many years?
14.
14 years. You talked about like the Cincinnati Bengals was like, yeah.
They wanted to lose, and you wanted to win. And
That's yeah. I don't.
yeah, you.
I wouldn't been either.
I don't.
But
I'm not upset about wanting to win. I don't think our players in that locker room and the people. I mean, there's a lot of people in that building who work extremely hard for the opportunity to win, and that's. You know, I'm not going to bend on that one ever.
Well, I think this is interesting. You've been covering sports. You've been covering the Dolphins for so many years. So you're telling me that you're okay with losing?
That was the 2019 tank season. You were supposed to be bad to ensure that you got a quarterback that could change the trajectory of the franchise. Yeah. This is before he even got hired.
Right.
This was laid in place. And that's one of the questions I have for you, because the conversation had to come up during the interview process about what the plan was. You go through the season, and I know there's things that you can't say, but you go through the season, and you're claiming guys on Tuesday, starting them on Sunday. And this year I talked to you, and you were like, there's no way you can really do that and put yourself in a good position to win. But you did it all year in 2019. So
we found a way to win some games there.
Yeah.
So much so that people are angry about it. Look, to me, that was a challenge, a coaching challenge for me. And I love challenges. And we probably should have won a couple more games in 2019. I'm never going to walk into a game expecting to lose. I walk into every game expecting to win. I try to, win at everything. Win at being a coach, win at being a husband, win at being a father, and I try to impart that on my players. I'm not one who goes down, like I'm going to go down swinging. And I'm always going to fight to win. And that's the example I'm always going to give our players, my family, and anyone who comes into my circle. And for those who want to lose, they'll be outside of the circle.
Omar, I don't know of any player that is going to sign up for losing. You know what I'm saying? There's no way.
I don't know any coach who's going to sign up for losing either. It's so disrespectful to the game that I love, that we love. It's hard to even talk about.
My thing is, tanking is part of the NFL and the NBA culture. It's not surprising to people that teams have tried to be bad so they can get Andrew Luck, or so they can get Joe Burrow, or so Trevor Lawrence, or LeBron James.
Is it really tanking if they really are just bad in general, based on those teams that they have to play against?
I think they just put things in their way that make it a lot more difficult for them.
It's a great challenge. It's a challenge. Let's see if you can, put something in the way, and we'll bust through that, and can find a way to win anyway.
That's the one thing I will say I respected about you, even though you didn't exactly follow through with the tank.
You say it like that.
I mean, when the ball got kicked off on Sunday, you were trying to win. There was no doubt or debate in it. Like whoever
to think of it any other way is just baffling to me, and it's something I would never even be a part of.
Yeah, I played for the Dolphins. Why are you laughing?
We're not gonna go ahead. Are we gonna go ahead?
I ain't gonna.
You want to get messy? Can you go ahead? Get messy.
Me too.
Oh man, damn.
No, I was just gonna say I played for the Dolphins, so I know some people. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't. It wasn't too long I was suiting up. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of dudes that we watched on TV that were my teammates, or I played with, or I played against. And one of the things that people said during that year was, in the locker room, the guys in the locker room said they had so much respect for you because they knew you Coach, I'm gonna be honest, man, y'all sucked. But they said, but they said the start of the year, they cut vets. And for you to go out there and give it your all the way you did.
Yeah, and build.
That's where, to me, the guy said that's when you gained a lot of respect for a lot of guys in the locker room.
I mean, when you're trying to build, you can't build a winning culture and be trying to lose. You just can't do it. Right. You just can't do it. And you can't gain respect and, traction on a team if that's what's going on. I firmly believe that, and there's no other way to operate, my opinion.
You're gonna coach again, because the resume speaks for itself. Being able to take a team and maximize the most out of what you have, even though they're telling you one thing, no, I don't want you to win, but no, we're gonna go out here and win and still get it done anyway, regardless of how you started. I could have swore the saying was, it's not how you started, it's how you finished.
But why wouldn't you coach again, though? Think about that.
Oh, you cannot sue the NFL. We saw that with Colin Kaepernick. You cannot sue the NFL.
Eric Reid played again.
Yeah, but then they kicked him out.
But isn't that highlighting the very thing that you're standing up?
Absolutely. But again, like I said, if there's actual change, that comes from, for us filing this lawsuit, and young black and brown boys, look up and see that there's 8, 10 black NFL head coaches, and they're not limited to just being players, then it's worth it.
Let me ask you a question about why the timing of it. And it was the start of Black History Month, and you opened it up with I think it was a Martin Luther King quote. Why file it at that moment when you're a finalist for 2 of the jobs that are open?
I thought there was power in filing it right then, and the timing of it was, I won't say it was coincidental, because I think everything happens for a reason. I thought there was power in the world knowing that I was going to put all of it on the line. That's how important this is to me, and that's how important it is to a lot of people. A lot of people that I don't know, and generations moving behind me, behind us, that I probably I won't get to know. There was a point there where I went back and forth. I know what I'm risking. I know what I may be sacrificing. But there was a point there where, I remember talking to my wife and saying, I'm not going to be able to live with myself if we don't file this lawsuit. I'm going to have so many regrets, not because of me, but because of everyone that comes behind me. So that's why.
I like what you're doing, obviously, with the lawsuit and how everything is going. In a sense, I see it as somewhat David and Goliath in a sense. Obviously, NFL Shield is extremely powerful.
I got my slingshot right here.
Yeah. I like it, extremely powerful. If I'm not mistaken, I think the NFL is using Loretta Lynch as their lawyer in this case. They hired a black woman as their lawyer, chess move, by the way. And this is the same lawyer that the NFL used in the investigation against the Washington football team with 650,000 emails. The only thing they found was John Gruden.
John Gruden.
I mean, if there was no transparency and accountability in that case.
You preaching.
But that wasn't taken to the court of law.
Well, hold on. No, so that's the question I have. That's that you preaching now. Arbitration, that's behind closed doors.
Yeah.
What you're doing is in public. How you feel about arbitration?
So every NFL contract that's signed, if there ends up being some type of litigation or a lawsuit, the NFL, in the contract, kind of has the right to settle that lawsuit or dispute in arbitration behind closed doors. It's kind of written into, I would say, in a lot of cases, silence. Players, coaches, whoever, from bringing some of this stuff to light. Look, if they're serious about change and then let's put this all out in the public.
So do you feel that racial claims should that
Absolutely
go
not.
to arbitration?
Any kind of,
That's what
to
I'm
me,
trying to say.
race and discrimination, whether it's race, gender, those types of claims, they shouldn't be allowed to go to arbitration. It's also, there's separation agreements when coaches get fired.
Releases.
Releases, yeah. So, if you want to get the rest of your guaranteed money, you sign this separation agreement, which means you give up your rights to file a claim, file a lawsuit, in order to get the rest of your money. Which, again, once you sign, there's a lot going on. There's millions of dollars at stake, and if you don't sign it, you may not get it, and if you do sign it, you might get it.
How many years did you have left on your contract?
I had 2 years left.
Did you sign it?
Did you? Yeah, that was what it.
I did not sign my separation.
You did not sign your
I did not sign
separation
my
agreement.
separation agreement.
So you're not getting paid for the remainder of your contract?
I did not sign my separation agreement.
Nah, we finna get paid. Leave that. Remember that quote with Denzel and Jamie? I'm leaving with something.
But look. Again, that's part of the sacrifice. That's part of the risk to get this out in the open. I mean, this is important. This is a lot more important than money. Right. Look, I grew up in the projects in Brooklyn. in Brownsville section of Brooklyn. So, I mean, when I made $20,000 as a scout in New England, I thought I was rich.
$20,000.
I made $20,663 every 2 weeks. I literally thought I was like I was making it.
Probably first real
You
job.
know? My first real, real job. You know, I really thought I was making it. You know, I slept on an air mattress. I was good. so that's part of this for me. Like, money is not I know I'm not signing a separation agreement because this is bigger than that.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I know you're one of the few to feel different. You're talking about validation and why I need the NFL and the Hall of Fame to validate me as a player.
You're talking about Ocho.
Yeah, I'm talking about Ocho. But at the end of the day, I would say 95% of players and coaches, right, make it to the league. Bro, this is the pinnacle of our sport. Because you said it earlier, it's like, well, why do we feel like we need them we need to be a part of something, but they really don't want us in these positions? It's because this is the NFL. Like, the passion, the love we have for the game. And then this is it. Yeah. This is the pinnacle.
Your identity is
correct.
Is embedded in the game.
So I say that because, like, I hear you, but you're also, I hear that you don't have no hobbies. I'm family and football.
That's it. A lot of family right now.
Okay, I know this is bigger. This is bigger than, okay, money. And but it's also this is your thing.
It is.
How you gonna deal with potentially not having your thing?
Again, there's sacrifices that need to be made for this type of change. And yeah, I absolutely love coaching football. I mean, God put me here to coach football, make an impact. Like, I firmly believe that. I've said that, many times. There's actually no reason why I should have coached football. My parents are immigrants. My dad played soccer. My uncle, for whatever reason, was driving around. It was a Pop Warner league, and I said, hey, let me play. And boom, I fell in love with the game on that day. So yeah, I'm gifted, and I'm here to coach, and I'm here to make an impact. I think this is my impact now. This is where I'm going to make an impact for black and brown and women and minorities, so that they're not dealing with unfair practices and situations that aren't. They're not getting a fair and equal opportunity to get into these leadership positions that they're more than qualified and more than capable of doing an incredible job at.
The league is made up of what? What's the percentage of black players?
74.2% black players.
You get that from PFF?
No.
All right, PFF, y'all need to pay us. All right, bet. So 70-something%. Like, the league is black, man. It's us. And so when you talk about leading men, like, can you reach me? Do you speak my language? Bro, this game saved my life. I come from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but it's the poorest town in Pennsylvania. If it wasn't for the NFL, I would not be in this position. We're talking about generations being changed. I got my nieces and nephews living in Florida right now, and I can support them. I take care of my family. First generation go to college, first generation millionaire. We're talking, it ain't about millions, it's about being able to have the resources to be able to survive. Not only I said save my life, but it's like
save mine.
Right. This is a big deal.
The game did.
And I love the NFL. I love the opportunities it's given me. But at the same time, we need change. We need change.
But the question comes down to, how do we get those 32 owners to see the way we see, have the vision that we have?
If I'm an owner, right, and we're talking about before this cycle, Mike Tomlin was the only black coach. You trying to reach Brandon Marshall? Do you speak my language? We're talking about 70% of us is black. Why don't we? So we keep talking about it. Why don't we have more coaches? Why don't we have more coaches? So if I'm an NFL owner, I want someone who can reach my locker room. Okay, I do. It makes It makes a lot of sense
because you see the benefit.
So so now let me cap it off because I said that. Let me cap it off. It starts with ownership. Okay, and what it is representation there and more seats at the table. Okay, because think about this. I'm giving you the keys to a part of a business that's makes up a $16 billion industry. So if I'm gonna give you this key, Omar Kelly, then I gotta feel comfortable. Deion Sanders is a prime example. Deion Sanders wears his hat backwards. Deion Sanders, pregame, what kind of music is he listening to? You walk into the locker room, what kind of music is he listening to? I don't know if I feel comfortable with that because you don't know. If you want to change the community, you got to be in the community. They don't know the community.
They don't even want to know it though.
So there's never going to be a change to me, and I do want to get your thoughts on like the changes that you think we need to make. But things aren't going to change until we have more representation at the ownership level.
And why should they let you in their clubhouse? Why should they let people who look like you and me and Brian in their clubhouse? Because somebody who's included in their clubhouse might not make them feel comfortable. Now there's an outsider in there.
Then that's racism.
I said this to Brian.
That's racism.
Yeah, it is.
That's right. That's
Okay.
it. That's the end of the discussion.
And it is.
That right.
I've covered the NFL for 14 years. There's nothing that I do in this industry that makes me feel more uncomfortable than being at the owners' meeting. It's these billionaires with their family and the heiresses of the franchise, and the kids are running around. It's like a vacation. It's an NFL-sponsored vacation. And the coaches, they take their family and they're playing around, and you see them in a different setting, but it's a setting that makes me uncomfortable. I never got to the feel of why it makes me uncomfortable. But it makes me feel as if I don't belong.
I think if the owners as a whole will say, we have a problem with minority hires. I think they all agree with that. The numbers speak to it. I think individually they'll say, I don't have a problem. You know what I'm saying? I personally don't have a problem. And if individually they don't have, individual issues, then that's when nothing happens. So I think collectively, I think they need to look, each owner needs to look inward and say, what can I do to make change to fix some of these issues when I know that collectively this is an issue?
Again, I don't even know if you said heart earlier, but it's also a head thing too. Can we add head to that? Because
We can.
Thank you, NFL. I'm gonna say it again because I don't want this to be like, oh, angry black man. But you think about the concussion lawsuit.
I mean, he included in his lawsuit.
No, well,
he included every incident of racism that the league.
Well,
and
think about that. Well, why is it that you deem us as not even capable?
Right.
Like our cognitive function level, like where we're at, our baseline is lower than the white football player. Right? So they were getting paid more around the concussion lawsuit than the black athlete because they said we're coming in mentally
At a lower level.
At a lower level.
But think about that, and it goes back to what Chad said. The leadership positions, quarterbacks, linebackers, why is that a struggle? Because these are positions, Brian Urlacher, I played with Brian Urlacher. Brian Urlacher playing against, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers going over here talking about, we're spider, okay. And then you got Brian Urlacher on the other side. I got to get my team right. I'm leading these 10 guys. Pepsi. Then get on the sideline, got Peanut Tillman, Julius Peppers, okay? Briggs. Yep. You got, Izzy, Adonijah, all these guys sitting here listening to Brian Urlacher saying, okay, this time Pepsi's gonna be down. So now Aaron Rodgers thinks that Pepsi's up, and it's a quarterback position, right? So you don't think that we're capable. And like we said all along, it's not just a football thing. It's a worldwide thing. So I think it starts with the heart and also the head. We got to make sure, because if you can look at the concussion lawsuit and why they deem us less than our colleagues or white colleagues, that's a problem.
What do you think, Brian, are the changes that need to be made in the Rooney Rule? And I will say this, for years, I wrote my college thesis on the Rooney Rule. And I always thought,
you didn't tell us
okay,
that. I wrote my college thesis.
Yeah.
Hold on, time out, Omar Kelly.
No, this is a long time ago. My issue was the glass ceiling is there at the coordinator positions. Okay, so if we don't have coordinators, we don't have coaching candidates. So take down the glass ceiling and be forced to interview minority candidates for coordinators. But then now that I'm seeing it actually be enacted in this year of the Rooney Rule changes and coaches have to interview minority candidates, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, this is a farce, because when you're interviewing for a job, you're telling these owners, this is going to be my defensive coordinator, this is going to be my offensive coordinator, this is going to be my special teams coach, and this is the schemes that I'm going to run. Well, if you're telling them who you're going to hire and they're hiring you depending on who you're telling them, then exactly how can the interview process be legitimate? What do you suggest? What can be something implemented?
I mean, I think one, specifically, and Ocho mentioned it, was black ownership. That's certainly one, was black ownership. I think there's got to be an oversight committee for hiring and firing throughout the National Football League, and just kind of a standardized review process at every position. Someone who is maybe it's a federal monitor, maybe it's a collection of individuals who aren't affiliated with a team that are overseeing the entire process and saying, hey, that guy's very qualified and that guy had an impressive interview. It's an oversight committee, and I think that will create a more equal and fair environment.
It'd be so hard for owners to relinquish that power. Can you imagine a billionaire and having someone looking over my shoulder, doing the interview process, and also having minorities or African men being a part of that union of owners who always act on one accord, and then now we have someone in that causes friction in a sense?
But if you're saying as an owner, there's a problem,
right?
How do we fix the problem?
Yeah, that's smoke and mirrors.
It is smoke and mirrors.
That's
but
smoke and mirrors.
If I say as a head coach, there's a problem,
right?
I got to go out. The owner's asking me to go fix that problem.
Right.
And I got to fix that problem by doing X, Y, Z, putting this player in this position, putting this coach in that position, and that's the job. Right. So, I mean, look, for me, there's always got to be a rhyme and reason as to why you do things, and I mean, this sounds pretty reasonable to me. If there's a problem, how are we going to fix it?
We're not respected here.
From an acumen and intellect standpoint, there's a lot of very capable black and minority and women who I would say in a lot of instances are smarter than their white counterparts. There's this myth that we're not as we don't have the intellectual prowess, and that's just wrong. I'll tell you what, I mean, I wouldn't take a backseat to anyone.
Right.
And when we do have it, you got to be overqualified, especially in the corporate world.
I think that's the same way where owners are struggling to hire minorities unless they want to give them bad jobs. A minority's going to get a bad job. And that, like, people want to say the success Mike Tomlin had. Oh, look at the success Mike Tomlin had. Yeah, that's because he got a good damn job from the start.
Quarterback, defense.
Outside of Tony Dungy and Jim Caldwell.
Super Bowl, I think.
Outside of Tony Dungy and Jim Caldwell, you can't name me another African-American coach who got a good job. And Mike Tomlin. Mm-hmm. And no offense to the job that you took, but I covered the Dolphins for 14 years. It was not a good job.
Yeah, no, it is a bad job. I played for the Dolphins. It's a bad job. Which highlights why what you did was so powerful and why people around the NFL was shocked when we saw Black Monday and then you seen Brian Flores. It's like, wow, that whole week of coaches firing, we're looking, what, Miami? I think 2016 we started this conversation, Colin Kaepernick. 2020, global pandemic, racial tension at its all-time high. And so it made it, it was the first time I felt like where it's like, you know what, we need to listen to the black experience. And so now we fast forward to where we're at today, 2022, and what you're standing up for and what you're speaking on.
Standing up for.
100%.
Let me ask you a question. Are you disappointed that more people didn't speak up after you came out with the lawsuit, other than Hugh Jackson?
I think there's a lot of layers to that, and time will. I think in time we'll hear more stories, but my story is not the only story. It's one that's a lot of guys have gone through. Guys who have been fired, that signed a release, so they literally can't come on. Oh no, discrimination lawsuit. I mean, think about that for a second. You sign this release so you can get your money, and in doing that, you can't file a discrimination lawsuit. Those are your choices. Think about that for a second. I mean, that's what's happening.
Right there on the wall.
That's what's happening, and we that's what we're fighting. That's what we're fighting against. Those are some of the changes that need to be made, because we can't be silenced. We can't be silenced.
I like how you corrected me and you said we.
Absolutely.
And I just feel like when you think about 2016 to where we're at today, when we have these type of uncomfortable conversations, love what Emmanuel Acho started, uncomfortable conversations with a black man, and it was phenomenal. The conversations that he had with white people, and we need more people to join the conversation, and not just black people.
Not just black people.
Our white coaches, our white athletes, right? Because we know in the locker room, man, we don't see color. In that locker room.
It's a beautiful place, isn't it?
Oh my goodness, man.
That locker room is a beautiful place.
Yeah, because we got one mission.
Yeah.
One goal. So I love that you corrected me, because that's what it's about, and that's where we're going to see change. We're all in it together, and it's a great conversation. It's an uncomfortable conversation, So I appreciate you for correcting me, right?
I appreciate you for having me on.
Yep, and I just want to, I think I'm gonna end the show, but I don't know if Ocho gonna jump in or Omar, because Omar he ready. Omar ready.
I stopped talking because it said wrap it up.
Yeah, right. I know. That's Mandeville telling me to wrap it up. So all right, let's wrap it up right here then. I'm gonna throw out a few names and a few statements or whatever, and I want to get your first reaction to it. Jenny.
My wife. You can't go through something like this and not have support of your wife. So she's so supportive, and when I told her, look, I wouldn't be able to live with myself, and I'd have deep regrets if I didn't go through with this. She said, well, then there it is. We're doing this, and this hasn't been easy for her at all. But her support has been unwavering, and I love her to death. So.
Right. I had a moment with my wife when I transitioned from playing to retired, and I got into entrepreneurship and the risk that comes with it, man. Like, we invested a lot of money, Coach, and you would have probably advised me against what I'm doing now. I mean, we ended up breaking through and it's working.
Right.
But my wife looked at me one night. It was a tough time, and she said, babe, I just want you to know, if you lose it all, I'll go to work.
How about that?
That's what she said to me. I said, you know what, let's go.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of support,
right.
we need.
That's right.
To take on these types of challenges. My wife said the same thing. Whatever it is,
right.
And I know she's gonna ride for me. So,
right.
I'm not gonna shed a tear on here, but
you sure?
If I was a guy who
Let
cried
it out,
a lot.
Coach.
Brownsville never ran, never will. That's all you gotta know. Never ran, never will.
There you go, Liliana.
My daughter, I've never said no to her on anything. So, I was actually at a princess party 2 weeks ago. She just turned 5. Funny story. We're sitting at a table. It's a pageant that they had, and they're getting makeup, and at the end they're having cake, and there's 10 little girls at the table, and one of the girls says, "Hey, you're the head coach of the Dolphins," and my daughter goes, "No, my dad lost his job. We don't like the Dolphins anymore. We don't like the Dolphins no more."
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the little girl's name. She said her name. We don't like the Dolphins anymore. 5. Oh, she's a trip. She's got leadership ability, that's for no doubt. Early.
I love it.
Yeah, she's good.
Miles
is my oldest. He's gonna be an athlete now. He has the height gene, and he's closing in on me already at 9. He's already talking about when he's taller than me, he's gonna smack me around. But
right. I love it.
He's a smart kid. He loves flag football right now. So, but he's a special young guy, and I'm looking forward to watching him grow. And
right.
He's intense, man, about everything.
Right. Maxwell,
this guy's he's a lot of fun. So Max is carefree, smart, loves to dance. This guy got moves now. He got moves. He better dancing than you. I promise you that. fun-loving. He's a good athlete too. He's gonna be taller than me too. Yeah, he doesn't threaten me though.
He doesn't.
He doesn't threaten me though. But he's he's just a ball of fun.
All right, couple more.
Yeah.
Lance.
El Bennett, Flo Blitz. So this is so Lance is somebody who I went to high school with. I've known him since I was 15 years old. When I got the job in Miami, I brought him on. He ended up being a team chaplain. So he's somebody who, just from a faith standpoint, has helped me grow from that standpoint, and helped me grow as a person, as a father, as a husband, as a friend, and he's been just incredible to me. So
We had this conversation earlier in the year on our show, and I asked the guys, like, I feel like we all need a Lance. You know what I'm saying? As men, we all need a Lance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And,
you need a
and
confidant.
earlier you said T.O. was your Lance, that the guy, like, your rock, right? So T.O. is your Lance. You have a Lance?
Yeah, my best friend Quessy. An accountability, bro. I could go to him about anything.
Right. So the last thing I want to end with is this, right? Like, as a competitor in Ocho, you know this. Like, I don't think we're ever satisfied. We're ever happy. We always want to work. You know, and not as a competitor, as a great competitor. Like, greatness, like, it's a difference between good and great. It's a
You want to
big difference.
compete.
Yeah, but there's a big difference between good and great. And so, you know, I'm not trying to be negative here, but I see greatness in you, right? And I think a lot of people see greatness in you. And I think like greatness, like I don't know if we're ever satisfied. So as a head coach, what are some of the things that you would look back at and say, you know what, I need to tweak this about my game?
I mean, I think you're right. Never satisfied. And I think, you know, I would say the one thing, and you mentioned it, I won't compromise, and maybe that's something that I guess I got to do better, but I just can't. You know, you talked about playing the game, and I don't play games, man. Like, I'm serious about helping players get better. I'm serious about helping everyone within the organization get better. And if I got to play games, playing games means that they don't get better, then I'm not playing games. And I'm not going to compromise either. There's things I believe in, and I'm not compromising those things ever. You know, maybe that's something that I need to improve on. Apparently, Omar thinks I'm just not going to.
No. The standard is the standard.
The standard is the standard.
The standard, and I think that's a Mike Tomlin quote.
Yeah.
The standard is the standard.
Yeah.
This is good. This was the meat and potatoes of what's going on, and not just the NFL, in corporate America, schools. I mean, people that watch this show are going to be able to relate to us, you know, what Coach Flores is dealing with. Hopefully some of the messages and some of the things you heard today, you're able to cope. But this was very informative, even for me, because I thought I kind of knew it all. And, you know, hearing Coach say some of the things he said and seeing some of the things that he believes in and stands for, I mean, it says a lot. It says a lot. So I'm rocking with you.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I appreciate this platform to speak on some of these things and have a discussion and dialogue. I think communication is communication and dialogue will get us to the change that we need. I think people understand that, you know, there's an issue and we need change, and I think a lot of people are behind this, and hopefully we get the change that we desperately need.
Yeah. Who the hell is your X? Who's your Z? We got this classic debate with Ocho.
Right here?
Right here, right now. We're going to start off. We're going to talk football.
Listen,
we'll get into the scheme
he's
and all that.
101.
No, that's not true.
He's 101 when asking this question to any and everybody. Dion, I'm the X. Revis, I'm the X.
Revis wasn't clear. Darrell Revis wasn't clear. And you had Reeves. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. They're both vital to the offense. Well, who can block better? Who can block better?
The better block is right here, because I don't even have to test nobody. Just run them off.
Okay.
And I'm taking 2 every time.
Well, I need somebody to come down and get the safety in the box.
Okay, well, that ain't me. You go ahead.
I need somebody to come down and get Jamal Adams in the run game. So,
there you go.
You know what I mean? So whoever's blocking better is going to be the Z.
Well, technically.
Get in there
I mean, Brandon did a lot of plays when Brandon was with the Dolphins. He took some run plays off.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, Omar Kelly.
And the fact that you just say that, speaking of blocking, and Omar just told you that you took plays off in the running game, You know who didn't take plays off in the running game? Me. You saw what I did to Ray Lewis? I stuck my nose in there. I played Urlacher. What'd I do? I stuck my nose in there.
So you're the Z and he's the
We
X.
played.
Boom, there it is.
What? I'm the blocker.
Yeah, you're the Z. You got to go in there and block for us.
There you go.
Nah, the X. I was the X in Cincinnati, so I always had to come down and Ed Reed.
One of the brightest minds in football just said, I'm the X. No player, no fan. This is a coach. This is a head coach. This is a defensive coordinator for a team that's won how many Super Bowls?
Whoa, timeout. You've had to deal with me as a coordinator, right? And I was the X.
You was the X.
Right.
Both of y'all damn good X's. I mean, come on, let's.
I mean, he can't dance like I can dance now, but he's okay. But who
He's
caused
the
us more
bully out there,
problems
though. He's the bully out there.
All right, explain.
I'm a bully in a finesse kind of way. Have you seen the analytics? I saw a double team 87% of the time during my career and still got open.
And I seen it 93.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
I looked it up.
No, you did
You
not.
only saw it 43%.
PFF.
I looked
Pro
it up.
Football
Oh my
Focus.
God, not Pro Football Folk. For
Pro
real?
Football Focus,
No,
absolutely.
no,
You've been
no.
double more than Ocho.
No, I didn't. There was
Coach-
no reason to W because all they had to do was play man and it's hard for you to get off the press.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just telling you what it said. I'm just telling you.
Who was the most difficult receiver to cover during your tenure with the Patriots?
Me, because I told you what I was going to do and still went out there and did it.
Two great players.
He being PC. Coach being PC.
Two great players. Very different. Brandon's a more physical.
I'm physical? Look.
More physical, bigger, catch radius, go up and get it.
My catch radius like
Can you
that
let
of
him
an
talk?
Ocho.
Can you let him talk?
Okay.
Quick at the line of scrimmage, hard to get your hands on him at the line of scrimmage. I would say it's probably easier to get their hands on you, Brandon, but oftentimes you just throw guys off of you. Okay. Different, but two very good players. Both tough covers. Both probably got to get doubled. Now, if you're both on the field at the same time, we're playing a lot of split safety, and you both get doubled. So.
But you still didn't answer the question. No, this ain't don't.
I was giving an easy answer. Listen, I understand you're nervous. You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. He's nervous.
I look nervous.
But listen, everything he said is, I'm the X.
Right.
You're bigger. It's easy to get your hands on you. Right there, let you know. Right there, boom.
Coach trying to be nice right now.
Nah, man. I
feel like he's trying to let one of us down.
It's your show. That's why he's doing that.
No,
it's your
it's
show.
our show.
It is, but I'm just saying, man, I'm the X, man.
What'd you think, Omar?
Oh, tell him. Oh, done said it already.
Best route runner I've ever seen. You could not. Oh, come on.
Best route runner?
Best route
you just
runner.
said me.
I say the
route
most
runner.
creative route runner. Not the best
Most
route
creative?
runner. Yeah, creative.
I gotta stay within the scheme of the offense. You mean creative?
Bro, you used to do some stuff that was.
Yeah, because hey, listen, within the timing of the offense, that's my feet had a mind of their own.
Right, okay. Go ahead, finish.
Physical presence could not be defended one-on-one. You have to go to him. Well, you should go to him one-on-one if you knew what you were doing. But mostly I put him in the slot, so that would make you the X.
Let's go.
Bro, when you have a guy like B. Marshall, third person, or a guy like Ocho, okay? If you just leave us at the X position, it's easy for Coach Flores to take us out of the game.
I've never gotten taken out though. You got taken out.
That's a very good point.
I never got taken
That's
out.
a very good point.
That is not true.
That
is so not true.
No.
That is not true.
No.
Listen,
You hear this man? This is
no, I'm telling the truth. Listen, people at home, Pro Football Focus, go look at it. 87% of the time, I was always open, regardless of the coverage. And it's a fact.
So 87% of the time, you was double, and 87% of the time.
Yes, because regardless of what you did defensively, I was there.
That's how analytics get you in trouble.
We had to fight to get a meal. Yeah, wrongfully accused. We had to fight to get appeals. That's why we right to get a deal. He on the team, he gotta eat, despite the skills. Keep it riding for the fam. You gotta light the wheel straight up.
You inspired me. There was one moment in your career where you had this matte gray, I think it was a Phantom. Bro, it was so sweet.
That was a loner.
You sure?
Yeah, that was a loner. I'm not paying for no fan.
It was, and then we made it pop. Yeah, and I just keep coming with verses. Got the boy collecting bags. I'm like a woman with purses. Time, like I'm dancing in the end zone.
Bill Parcells. And he'd be like, come over here. Call me Nick. Come over here. And he's like, I'm up X amount of dollars today. I'm down X amount of dollars today. And he's like, you know what? After practice, meet me in my office. I never went in his office and talked football. We were talking about money.
Because he knew how to reach you.
He knew, and also I'm like, Coach, man, this $4.1 million house is on the market right now. I want to buy this house. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then I said, Coach, after about 6 months going back and forth with Bill Parcells, I'm like, Coach, I got to do it.
From the gutter, probably why my music put the chill on them. Came up from the hustle, all my bottles had the seal on them. Running through them hoes, look like Prescott in the field on them. Bet they on it now, I'm just trying to hold it down. You know that I want the crown.